Welcome to the IV Analytics webinar series that we conduct on the weekends. Today's topic is going to be data visualization with the charts using Excel. Now we have various kind of data and the outcome comes in terms of numbers in a particular cell. We can definitely look at our tables or we can look at the results of a cell and understand what's going on in our data. But if you introduce charts inside the same sheet, then the visualization of the data becomes a little easier, a little better. So data visualization in Excel can be done through charts. We are going to pick some new charts in this. You already know that the charts are graphical representation of data, and we have done some basic charts in the past of column chart, bar chart, pie charts, line charts. But today we are going to pick 3 new chart types. Those are created from our basic charts only. With a little modification, they give a different look altogether. So the 3 chart types that we are going to cover today is going to be thermometer chart, speedometer chart or the gauge chart, and the funnel chart. And I'll tell in what situation you would be using those chart types. What kind of data do we work with when we are using these chart types. So this is the thermometer chart. If you can see on the right side, I've given a small photograph of how it should look like, and now we're going to start working. Now, when do we normally use a thermometer chart or a speedometer chart? Both of them are used for the same purpose. When you are trying to show that I have a goal, I have a target, and this is what I have actually achieved till now. In terms of percentage, like I have achieved 50%, 60%, 70%, and as and when you keep on adding to your actuals. For example, the table, if you look over here, what I've taken some dates, and on each date how much sales is being done. Let's say the sales team has a total target of 200,000. Now out of the 200,000, every day I'm making sales. So what percentage have I achieved of my goal? So I can obviously do some calculations. This is my target sales. This is my achieved sales, where I put a simple sum function, which is a summation of this entire column B. And as and when I keep on doing the sales on 21st, 22nd, I can keep on filling it up and my achievement, the cell will keep on getting updated. Once I've got my achieved, I know my total, I can simply find my percentage sales. Very simple, because it's just going to be achieved divided by the total target into the 100. So I know through numbers that I've achieved 34%. But what if I could create a chart like this, which as and when I keep on increasing my sales in the actuals, the level keeps on rising like a thermometer. So this is called a thermometer chart. So let's see how do we create it. Now thermometer chart that we are going to create is actually done, and the modification is done to your basic column chart only. So we start with a column chart and it's going to end up in the thermometer chart. No, this is just an image. I've just pasted the image. I've not created a chart as of yet. So how we're going to progress? We're going to select the percentage that we have. We are going to go to insert and we are going to work with the column chart. Right, so this is what is going to come up. I'm going to select this thing, right click, and we are going to do the format data series. In format data series, where it has vertical value axis and where it shows this thing of minimum and maximum, I'm going to make it 1 as the maximum amount. Right? So this is done. We are going to reduce this a little bit so that it becomes like a thermometer chart. Right? And we are going to reduce this gap width also so that it expands completely. And what we don't need the chart on the top, the title, we don't need the legends and all. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove it. I need vertical axis. Right? But I don't need my grid lines and I don't need my chart title. So this gets created. Again, just to make it a look of a thermometer, we'll reduce it. And to this plot area, we are going to give some border. So your basic thermometer is ready. Now all you have to do is put a bulb at the bottom. So this is 34% and that is what it's representing, 34%. To give the small bulb at the bottom which gives a look of a thermometer, we are simply going to use our shapes, and from shapes we are going to pick a oval shape and put it at the bottom. You have to understand it's a simple column chart, but just the look and feel, to improve the look and feel, we make use of these charts. So now if I go ahead and I increase the sales value of the actuals, let's say I made 5,000 more. So automatically this thing has increased. Let's make a bigger sale, like let's make 20,000, which will make a impact on the chart. So you see, as and when I keep on increasing, the level keeps on increasing. Even though I am able to see the number, but when I look at the visuals, then it looks more better. And especially when we are doing something that we're creating for a client or our customers, then introducing such kind of charts inside makes a lot of difference. Like we have dashboards in Excel. What are dashboards? Again, dashboards are visual representation of your data, analysis that you do through numbers, through tables. You give a visual representation, because for a layman, with a visual representation, it's much easier to understand the data. So same thing is happening over here. Now the reason we were using thermometer chart is, again, if we have a target, we want to show what percentage of the target has been achieved. And this, as and when you keep on increasing the sales, it will keep on increasing the percentage. Same concept is your speedometer chart. This is an example of a speedometer chart. Just like you have in the car, you have a dial where the speed is increasing or decreasing. So you see the needle that keeps on increasing as you keep on pushing the accelerator. So this is a gauge representation that is coming up. Now how do we get the speedometer chart? Again, what do you think? What do you think? Which chart, basic chart type I have used to create this thing? Because all these fancy charts require our basic chart types to work and come up with these things. Which chart? Pie chart. Exactly. This is a pie chart. But if you have seen a pie chart, it's a complete pie. But this is a half a pie. So how do we make a complete pie and get this answer out of it? So same data I have picked up. I've got some dates. I've got current sales. I've got a total target of 200,000. Again, I've used a sum function to sum up all the sales that I have till 30th of May. As and when the sales keeps on increasing, this achieved will keep on increasing, and I've got a percentage over here. So before you make the speedometer chart, you have to create the data for making this pie chart. So I need a pie chart where 50%, which is at the bottom, I can slice it away. I need the top 50%, which is going to be distributed, which will look like 100%, and then it has to be achieved that way. So what we are going to do, we are going to simply use this percentage achieved and divide by 2, because I want 50%. And then I can have the next one as 50% minus what I have achieved on the top. And at the bottom, I'll write 50%. That's the third pie that I have to look at. Just going to format it. So I've got 3 informations. So I should be in a pie. I should be getting 3 slices in the pie. 30%? 20% is 50% minus whatever has been achieved, because that would be 1 remaining, right? And 50% is the pie that is going to end up being the bottom pie. So I've got the 3 information for my pie chart. We select all the 3, insert. I'm going to pick a pie chart. So this is what my pie chart looks like, right? Now if you see, the pie is divided in a vertical way, 50-50%, but I wanted to make it horizontal. So you can actually rotate your whole pie. You see, when you are in the format data series and when you're in series option, you have angle of the first pie. So we are going to make the angle of the first pie as 270. As soon as I did that, the major portion, the 50% of the pie went down. Now I can work on the individual slices and format according to my choice. So this particular pie is what I don't require. And I can only see this pie if I fill in some color and put a border around it. But if I remove it, so I can go over here where you can remove the fill. So I'll say no border and no fill. So you see I've removed the pie. It actually exists, the slice exists, but through formatting we have removed it. And whenever you are doing this percentage in your thermometer chart, the percentages were already there of 0, 10, 20. So in a speedometer chart, what we are going to do, we are going to put some text. Some text boxes. This is a text box. So we are going to put a text box saying this is 100 and this is 0%. And the same text box I can pick and copy paste. Make it. Okay, make another one over here probably, and 100%. Expand it a little bit so that it fits the text. So we know this is a 0% and this is 100%. We can get rid of the legend. In the chart title, we can modify it and let's say we are going to put percentage achieved. And we can also shift this thing at the bottom. Right? Now let's see how it works. So this is a gauge chart that we have come up with. Let's go to the data and increase certain numbers. So I'm going to increase this number to 20,000. And you see automatically the blue area increased and the orange area is little less. So as and when keep on increasing, it will keep on increasing the target achieved. Sure. So the main thing is that we have to show in a half of the slice. So one half of slice is 50%. So that 50% is over here. And the remaining two, whatever the percentage is, I have to, the other 50%, I have to split it so that that percentage gets divided not on the basis of 100 but basis of 50. So 75% divided by 2 is what I'll get over here. Whatever is this amount, the percentage is achieved, that I divide by 2 because I don't want 100% but I want half of it. And then the next percentage I've got by subtracting it from 50%. So 50% of whatever is the top. So this is acting on the total of 50%, not 100%.
Last 50% represents the amount of the pie chart I want.
Yes, because in a pie chart, it is going to show you 100%, right?
Out of that, I want to display
in a 50%, I want to show and 50% I don't want to show. So the percentage I don't want to show, I can do formatting. And the percentage I want to show, I divide it into such way that that 100% gets divided over 50%. Right? Yeah, this is the main thing. These are small tricks that you do with the regular charts and come up with these fancy charts. Because as such, there is no rocket science in creating fancy charts. It's just small things that you have to format your basic charts. Okay, next thing that we are going to do a funnel chart. This is what a funnel chart looks like. Where is a funnel chart used? Funnel charts are basically used in the field of marketing and sales, where you have some predefined steps of this is how the sales calls has to be made, or this is how the marketing, if we have a campaign, these are the various phases in which the marketing campaign will happen. And depending on those steps or depending on those phases, we are achieving some targets. A very simple example, let's say I'm a FMCG company and I'm trying to sell off my products. So I have understood that there are various marketing activities that I am going to undertake. For example, we are going to do some newspaper ads, We are going to do some TV commercials, some radio commercials, some Google adverts, some posters. And based on each one of them, I get some customers. Because I can ask customer that where have you heard it from, and they can tell me, okay, I've got this as a reference. So I've got some customer receipts from each one of them. Now this chart is basically used to understand where is the bottleneck when you are doing such campaigns or when you're running the project in phases, which phase did not work very well for you or which step did not work very well for you. Because if you look at this pyramid at the cone, that is the funnel that is there, whatever thing is going to end up at the bottom, the top part of the cone is going to dictate that, okay, this is the thing that did not work. This is the phase that did not work for us. So how do we do it? What I've done, I've put some customer receipts. I've converted into a percentage, even though the converting to percentage is not going to make a very big difference. So how we're going to start? We are going to select this data of the activities and the customer receipt, because we are going to create our chart using this. Now, which basic chart do you think we have used in this one? Column chart. But in column chart, you have an option of cone, right? So we are going to use that. In 2013, they have removed that option of cone in the main chart areas. Like initially in 2010, what used to happen when you used to pick the chart type, over there in column itself, they used to give you a choices of cone and all those things. But now they've taken away. So in 2013, where the choices. So we're going to select this data. We are going to go to insert and put a column chart, but we'll do a 3D one, because now the cone that I want exists in the 3D format. So I'm going to pick a 3D column. And if you look at the cone, what it is doing, there is some value. On top of that, there is another value. On top of that, there is another value. So these type of column charts are which kind? The one that I'm creating right now is clustered. But there is other chart types that we have. There is one thing called stack column. And there is one thing called 100% stack column. So the one that we have to use in this funnel chart is the 100% stack column. So instead of picking the clustered, I'm going to pick the third choice, which is 3D 100% stack column. So once I click on it, it is coming as individual bars. We have to modify that. So we are going to do some formatting of the series. And when I did the formatting of the series, now it's giving me the option of columns shape. So I'm going to pick this full cone, right? This is done. But what we want them to be stacked on top of each other. So a little bit changes have to be done in select data, right click, select data. And all these newspaper ads, TV commercials, they are taken as a horizontal axis. But this is part of the series, and I want each series to be on top of each other. So all I have to do is switch them. So I can switch row and column, and as soon as I switch the row and column, it end up being a cone that I desired, right? So this is this. Now again, the only thing that we are left with is rotating it upside down, because right now it's a cone and we have to rotate it. So for rotating it upside down, okay, so for rotating it upside down, all we need to do is change this axis. It's running from 0 to 100. What if I can reverse this axis from 0 to 100 to 0? As soon as I do that, whatever my graph is, it inverts. So we are going to go and select this vertical axis and right click, format axis. In the first part itself, in the axis options, you will see values in reverse order. So as soon as we click on that, it inverts the cone. Now things that we don't require in our chart is what we're going to get rid of. I don't want this grid line, I don't want the percentages, I don't want the chart title, I don't want the axis title. So I can go ahead and remove all of them. So only my cone is appearing right now. All I have to do is, whatever are the numbers over here, I have to come and put it down on the cone. So those are called data labels. Whatever by which the cone has been creating, putting the labels on the particular cone. So for this you can select add data label, and when you add data label, the number appears. But in this particular cone, I will also like to see, along with the number, what was the name of the series that represents this number. So I'm going to go ahead and do the formatting of the data label, and in this I'm going to say label should contain the series names as well as the value. So once you look at it, and if you want to, we can format it a little bit better so that it's more visible. So the first one we have is newspaper ad with this value, right? And similarly we can put the labels on each and everything. One thing I forgot to tell is, when you are making this funnel chart, very important thing is the data, where before you plot the chart, this has to be in the descending order, because it has to be in descending order because the minimum value has to go on the tip. So you have to remember that, because otherwise, even though the shape is given in such a way, but your numbers really don't look like it is in that order. So it will not really match up with your numbers. The data visualization will not be there, because the numbers are saying something else and your charts are saying something else. So this is how you do it. So you can go ahead, select the second series. Again, we are going to do add data labels. And once we add a data label, we are going to format the data label by adding a series name, then again going ahead and making some changes to the data so that it's little visible. So that kind of formatting can be done easily. So this is called your funnel chart. Just to recap of all the things that we have done, we have taken 3 chart types today in data visualization. We took thermometer chart and speedometer chart. Both the chart types are used whenever you have to represent what percentage of target has been achieved. This can be taken for sales, this can be taken in marketing, right? And in thermometer chart, you have a percentage showing up, as in you have achieved 30%, 40%, 50%. The basic chart type that is used in the thermometer chart is a column chart. Little bit of formatting is required in that. Then comes our speedometer chart. In this speedometer chart, we don't have those percentages of 10, 20, 30, 40, but we are definitely going to show in 100% and 10%. And as and when the number keeps on increasing, the target achieved keeps on increasing, this thing keeps on moving. The basic chart type that we use in this is a pie chart. So the 50% of the slice which is at the bottom has been hidden through formatting, and the remaining 50% is which we are going to work with. The colors you can manipulate, the styles you can manipulate of the pie chart. The third type of chart we covered is the funnel chart. It is used again in sales and marketing, but for a different purpose. It is used to understand which phase or which step in the marketing process or the marketing campaign or the sales process is the weakest link. And then we can say, okay, this is not working, so either change it or remove it. So those kind of things are done through the charts. These charts, and the basic chart type that we use again in this one is a column chart. But we modified the column chart to a cone chart and we inverted it to get a funnel chart. Any questions?
In the pie chart and speedometer chart, I can give the percentage achieved.
Yes, you can have the percentage achieved. You can do that. Okay, I guess there are no questions. But just in case, once you go through this again on the YouTube, if you have any questions, you can definitely send us your email inquiries at info@ivproschool.com. Thank you for logging in with us.